Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about marketing. And this is not just a normal how to market video. It's a how much are you spending on marketing and how much am I spending on marketing? How much should we all be spending on marketing? I love to read stock reports. Heck, my name is Investing Doc. The beauty with stock reports is I can look at publicly traded companies, Privia, Hims and Hers, whatever, United Healthcare, and I can see what their gross margins are, how much they're spending on administrative expenses, how much they're spending on marketing and advertising. Recently, I decided to take a look at how much is Teladoc, one of the biggest telemedicine companies that's out there today, how much are they spending on marketing and advertising? Since they've been around since pre-pandemic, and they're arguably one of the best known telemedicine platforms out there, I wondered how much are they spending on it. It turns out that Teladoc is spending 27.7% of gross revenue on advertising. Holy crap, that's a lot of money. That's now in the last quarter per their stock release. To put it in perspective, I started out, I didn't even put my logo on the door, as some of you guys may know. I was notorious about not marketing correctly, with the exception of I did grassroots marketing. I knocked on doors, door to door for other physicians. Hey, my name's Brad. I'm a primary care, starting my own practice. We take every insurance. Here's my phone number. That actually got me a lot of patients. But to put it in perspective, I'm all about hyper growth for our clinic. And I had to take a step back and say like, well, what am I doing for hyper growth besides like relying on word of mouth, Google reviews, and other things? How much are we spending on marketing at this point in time? Well, the answer is about 3%. 3% of gross revenue goes towards marketing at this point in time. And that's the highest we've ever spent. Last year, I looked back at our average spend on marketing and advertising, 0.2%. That's 0.2% of our gross receivables were spent on marketing and advertising. Kind of cool that we got to 21,000 patients at the time of making this video with such little advertising. But if I'm going to scale even larger, we got to crank it up. We got to crank up the advertising, and that's why I'm going to get a commercial. Coming in January, at the time I'm recording this, it's November, but coming out in January, I'm going to have a commercial on the local news agency where it's going to air a minimum of 6 times per day for 6 months in a row. One of those is guaranteed to show during a prime time. And that could either be prime time afternoon, it could be prime time in the morning during the news, but I get one guaranteed primetime spot per day. I also get other advertising with that. So if people are on Hulu or ESPN, my ads will start popping up there and they can geo-fence the city that I want to show the advertisements to, and my ads are gonna be shown to them. How much is that costing me? It's costing me about $7,000 a month. That sounds like a lot, and it is a lot of money. But at the same time, per month, I'm gonna get about 1.6 to 2 million impressions guaranteed on that advertisement every single month. To put that in perspective, a billboard that we were thinking about getting on the main interstate that goes right through our city, I-35, that costs about $10,000 a month. And the problem with that billboard is there's a lot of people that are driving that interstate that are truck drivers that are driving from Mexico, bringing goods in, or maybe they're driving from Dallas all the way down to South Texas. They don't live around here. So me advertising my services to them, it's kind of a waste of my time. Even the billboard agency told me that they would not recommend advertising on this interstate because most people aren't local that are on the interstate. I'm not gonna crank up my advertising as high as Teladoc. I'm not a publicly traded company, and all of the reserves come out of my money. Luckily, we are cash pay profitable. Every month now, we are making money on pretty much every single provider that we have, whether it be a PA or a doctor, with the exception of the doc at our 3rd location is net negative at this point in time, still about $2,000 a month. They still haven't hit overhead yet, which is disappointing. For last month, they didn't hit it, but we're almost there. We're net negative $2,000. The reason I'm doing this marketing is because when I relied on word of mouth, I call them my level 5ers. I have a lot of lovely patients, but my God, the level 5ers will take all of your time. They're the patients who will come in and try to get an hour-long visit out of just a high blood pressure medication refill. I treat every patient with respect, and I love every patient that I have. But the biggest red flag, in my opinion, is when I see a patient who's like, I drove an hour and a half to see you. This is gonna be a terrible visit. There are probably 100 other primary care doctors between me and them an hour and a half away. And the fact that they had to drive to me to come see me, yeah, that's not the kind of patient I want. If they feel like they had to come this far to see me, a non-specialist, That's a problem. Now, if I was an oculoplastic surgeon, get it, people are gonna drive probably 3 hours, 5 hours to come see you. That's a totally different ball game. But at my point, I want to hyper-localize my advertising, and I want to start dictating more of the type of patient I want to get. I don't want to say the easy patient, but the diabetic patient, the high blood pressure patient. I don't want the nervous Nancy that's coming in and wants to talk for an hour about should I be on a high blood pressure medicine or should I not? It does get exhausting shutting those down, and the worried well gets exhausting. So with my marketing goals, we're taking our ad spend up from 0.2% last year to 3% this year. So we're probably gonna do about 8 or 9%. That's where we're hitting our sweet spot. We got a billboard, we're about to have a TV spot. ZocDoc actually let me back on their platform. So I'm gonna make a video in the future about how great or bad ZocDoc was in the future, since I'm gonna give them another try. We're gonna try multiple different avenues to advertise. My last little tidbit about advertising is you never know what's gonna work out the best for you. Let me share a story that I shared with someone else recently. I advertised to this guy, an interventional cardiologist. And honestly, at the very beginning when I started up this clinic, I thought maybe I was wasting my time trying to go to their one clinic day a week because they were just taking hospital call and doing interventional things in the hospital. I thought I was wasting my time trying to hit them in their clinic one day a week to shake hands with them, meet them and say, hey, my name's Brad, primary care, opening across the street, please send me patients. I thought, they're probably gonna send me nobody. They're only in clinic one day a week. They're actually my best referral base to this day. They have sent me hundreds and hundreds of patients. Why? Well, because think about how many people go to the hospital, have their first myocardial infarction, haven't seen a doctor in 30 years, and guess what? He can do all their cardiac stuff, but he's gonna be like, look, you gotta go see Brad. You need a primary care. You need to manage this other stuff. Please go see him. My God, it has been the best referral source I could have ever had. He sent me hundreds and hundreds of patients. The key with this is that what is your advertising spend? And in the very beginning, every dollar's precious. You gotta grassroots it just like I did. But as you grow, like us, to where now you can spend $7,000 on an advertisement on TV for a commercial, how much as a percent of your gross revenue are you spending? Because if you look at Hims and Hers, Teladoc, they're all around 20-something%. 1 out of every $5 that they earn goes right back into advertising. That is insane. And that's also why they're growing so large. Well, that's one of the things of why they're growing so large. Leave a comment below. What is the percent that you're focusing on advertising at this point in time? How are you advertising? Or if you're just starting, are you just doing grassroots? Did you knock on doors? Did you share your information with other people? You gotta let people know you exist. We're gonna let people know we're in town. All right, you guys. Hope you all have a good one. See y'all next time.